go two things down. My usual, like, oh yeah, here's session, food, or like food buffs and all of that, active, like how many things we have left to level. And then like the first thing I added because of last week, in all caps, mess with mystery box!
Oh yeah, you do want to mess with the mystery box.
Mm-hmm.
Great way to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah. Alright, so we are once again back with our intrepid peacekeepers. So much on your plate. I don't know what you guys are gonna do.
Too much.
I'm not trying to pile shit onto you
Breaking the
guys.
fourth wall, it's too fucking much.
But again, I have to have things going on. Like, the world is spinning without me.
We know the world just keeps moving. It just
Some
doesn't
of us
help
are
that a
gonna
lot
have
of
crises.
it just doesn't help a lot of the world terrors are all very much like, it's not a like minute scale or in a like a semi-large scale. It's very much 0 to 100. At least in terms of the bigger ones.
Wait, since when are we streaming on YouTube?
Yeah.
You never noticed that?
No, I kind of moved it.
You know what? Whatever.
It works either way.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I was just surprised to see a YouTube link and not a Twitch link.
Yeah. But anyways, that
Okay.
is up to you to recap.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're up, Giraffe. Let's hear the recap.
Okay. So, last week, well, literally yesterday, what it feels like, we got finished discussing with our lovely paladin friends what the fuck was going on, and we ended up taking the puzzle box with us, which is fucking crazy. And Stitch really wants to solve it.
Yeah.
She's determined. And then we set forth towards the gnome city. When we camped that night, everything was fine until it was my turn, of course. And a mind flare dragon came when I was doing my watch, and we had to literally get up, leave the tent, and fucking run. Well, we were in the car. Umbra ran. Like Umbra.
Yeah.
To the gnomish kingdom city thing. And we all have a lovely level of exhaustion. Umbra, I believe, does he have one or two? I think he only has one.
He would have had much worse, but he only
Yes.
has one because he managed to
The
endure.
The poor thing. He's fine. And then we stopped by at the lovely artificer's shop. Flint signed a waiver for some kind of guinea pig weapon. And we bought some shit. Stitch got these really cool gauntlets that basically heal shit. And we're going to take a nap, basically, because we need one. I don't
Only
remember
thing
anything
I
else
will-
that happened. I was gonna say, I don't
Only other
remember
thing I
anything
will-
else. Did I forget something?
Only other two things I'll interject.
Please do.
One, we have also learned from the gnome artificer that we have chatted with a few times prior that because of
Martial law.
ramping circumstances of their continued defense against the abominations from the doctor, they have a little bit of a reverse martial law for the army right now. Of most of the better craftsmen in the city are having to, at least her, from her perspective, is having to offer most of her wares to the army, generally for free, as at the Queen's request, to be able to help equip them better to fend off the continuous threat. And the second thing being, outside of possibly stuff we'll be going into today's session, of a lot of stuff the party needs to talk about, Stitch had helped purchase rooms, let Navi sit around to be the one to wait for the rest of the party to come meet and greet once they catch up from buying the experimental belt that is very powerful, but also very dangerous. Stitch had decided that to go uphold an old promise that we made the last time we were here, and is now currently on her way, riding a very a very tired Umbra up to the Queen's Castle to go have a bit of a chat, of informing her and having some word of what has happened during the last month of their travels. And if anyone deserves to know of the possibility of what we're doing going in the next week, it probably would be her.
She doesn't want to rest. Oh no, you're fine. Never mind.
The gauntlets I got let me cast greater restoration without needing to use materials for it, so I was able to burn off the sleep deprived that I am. Stitch is probably still tired, but
They're bags.
yeah, I mean the greater restoration did help though. So I mean, she's probably, since we're all having to go rest, and while it is of decent times, she is wanting to go have a chat. That is, for the most part, the only things you missed.
I got
Oh, we also had our undead friend, who is now the Avatar of Death, come pay a visit, as he had come to pay a visit to collect
I
on.
think you chose to mentally forget Kira.
No, that Oz
We
wanted to
talked
forget.
about it. We talked
didn't.
about it literally
We
before session
did.
started, which was funny.
I have the memory of a goldfish.
Our friend Kilo had come to pay us a visit, as we had recently just fought off the Nagas, and both sides he very much wanted both to be taken off the list, seeing as they are creatures that defy death in such a unnatural way that is not supposed to be considerate of Necroth's way of managing undeath. But outside of possible developments and stuff that go forward, that is, for the most part, everything that happened last time.
I almost had it. Damn it.
You did. You did good, though.
So close and yet so far.
Alright. So, first things first. What is everybody going to do?
Going to sleep.
I think for the most part, the rest of the party is probably, as Stitch is heading out,
We're going to the
on Umbra.
tavern.
I think
Oh,
everybody
we're
else
going
is
to the
heading to the inn to go.
Yeah,
to go
I
rest.
don't remember the name of it. Was it something Otter? I don't know why I'm thinking Otter.
No, it's the Stinking Weevil Inn.
Oh, I was wrong animal entirely. Awesome. Right family. Wrong animal.
I'll be honest, the only thing I ever think of with Weevil is just Weevil Underwood.
Oh, I heard Weasel.
It's supposed to be Weasel.
Oh.
I remember that much, because the second, like, it was said, it's like, I think it's Weasel.
No, it's Weevil.
It's Weevil? Oh.
It's Weevil.
What
knows
the
the
hell's a
pronunciation last week.
Weevil?
I know of it from video games, not as an actual thing.
The hell's a Weevil?
Some pompous...
It's a bug?
Yeah, it is.
Ah.
Yeah, some pompous, jerky boy who does nothing but love bugs and be a complete dick to Yugi.
Well, no, it's an actual, like, genuine
I
thing.
know. I was just making a joke because I said Weevil Underwood earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Stitch would not be there. Yeah.
I would not be there. I mean, I imagine literally the rest of the party is just coming in, and Navi was waiting for them to inform them of the rooms and circumstances. I don't know if there's really much they're wanting to do at the exact moment of. Since it's pretty, I think for the most part, because if everyone has exhaustion, it's literally just come in and go to rest.
Well, I mean, you gotta decide on who's sleeping with who, I suppose.
I think that was already kind of loosely figured out of Stitch would be taking the separate individual room. Navi and Wex would be in one of the two rooms on the opposite side, and then it would be Oz and Flint in the other.
Speaking
On
of
the other
what?
side. Yeah, there's
Ah.
Roomba.
We have Wex. You've been taking 5 years.
Welcome, Goomba.
Hello.
Because
You
you
look
can
alike.
recap for us.
That's
No, I'm kidding.
fine. Yeah! I'm kidding.
Alright, Yeah, you are free to go to your rooms. Individual rooms over here, so that's only the only one bedroom place here. Every other room
Gotcha.
does have two
Oh,
beds.
we've stayed here
available.
before, right?
No,
No.
No?
no.
What am I thinking of them?
Apparently, the tavern we had stayed at also had rooms, but we're just not going there this time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of.
Cause yeah.
I'm just remembering there everybody else was sleeping when Oz woke them up. Oz had been up for 2 hours.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's
So,
exhausted.
I guess just pick your rooms.
I mean, Stitch has her key. That was, I think, the one key that she did not hand to Nave because she was just going to take the single room. So
Navi, can I have the key? Please, I'm sure you have it. Thank
Just toss
you.
me the key. Could also toss Wex the key as well. This is
You two are sharing a room, I thought.
we are. I'm just not going into the room yet.
I'll be honest, love. I think after last night, I kind of might need a drink. A little bit.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right.
I'll probably be out like a light, so.
All right. Well, I'll meet you in the bedroom, hon.
Okay. Any of these three? Is that what it is?
the one over here, I think, which I can't see on the map, but the one lower is, I think, this the only single that I have the key for.
Okay. Oz is... Oh, we're getting a double. We're separated. Oz is out. That's all I'm saying. She out like a light.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the rest of you?
Oh, basically for me, I'm just gonna be sitting at the bar and ordering a couple drinks because, yeah, being chased by a giant fucking mechanical, well, not mechanical, giant fucking tentacle dragon is not exactly the highlight, and I'm going to have probably, I don't sleep, but I still feel like I'm gonna have nightmares of it.
No.
It's not really that. It's just Jesus
No,
Christ.
I know. It's fucking terrifying, that thing.
Oh yeah, no, it came out of nowhere.
Hmm.
Other thing with that is just more of Flint's also waiting for Stitch to get back.
Alright.
That's
Okay then. Just want to make sure. Give you a chance to roleplay if you want to.
I mean, unless Penn wants to say, unless Navi has anything they want to ask Flint.
No, just ask if you're doing all right after the dragon chase.
Exhausted. I currently am equipped with a second soul and more or less just tired and very much need a drink. What about you?
Exhausted.
I feel that.
Yes. Yes. I think Stitch went to go speak to the Queen, I believe.
Oh, right. She did make a promise a while back.
Oh. They always seem to be good at keeping those.
Yep.
What if it's a paladin thing? If it's a paladin thing or just a Stitch thing?
Like her, what, going off on her own, or?
No, they keep the promises. Like, think she's broken one yet? Going off on her. Going off her own. I think that's just Stitch.
I think, as far as I know about her, she's not really broken a promise, at least within the group. I don't know about her experience outward. I would like to know more, but I haven't really got the chance for us to talk more privately. But besides that, I don't know, do you have any other intuitions going on?
Not really. Just kind of wondering how the hell the doctor got that thing.
If I'm being honest, the amount of dragon corpses I've come across, which so far is one, apparently it has to be a live dragon. Actually, I don't even know. What am I saying? Basically, in the sense, I've only seen one dragon corpse proper, and that was one that was long dead back over in a cave back near my town. Other than I've never really come across any other. So, the only other dragons I've come across so far are the high dragons, and apparently the shadow red dragon that caused the whole mayhem with the fucking Minotaur village.
I still can't believe that's a technicality. That was you guys.
Oh, of what? The Minotaur village?
Yes.
Hey, I did not mean for this cause. I wasn't even conscious when they made this decision to go send a dragon at them.
That's
Much
why I
less
said technicality.
It was just us. It was only us.
I'm pretty sure someone else in
No,
that
it
group.
was only us.
I could have sworn there was someone else.
Cole,
No,
did, I
Cole
think,
He
it
was
was
in
like-
it with me, but I said, hey, the Minotaurs, fuck, they hate you, so go get them.
But yes, in towns, because of that, they've, well, more or less, now we have to try and rescue any that remain. If not, just get rid of the great evil and its zombified minions, much like the Doctor and his fucking army of elder brains and fucking tentacle faces and all whatnot.
Seems like it's gonna be danger around every corner for the next few weeks.
Yep. That is pretty much what it's like for the life of adventurers, of course.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
Oh boy.
What?
But besides this whole bit, is there anything else that we've been, like, is there anything, any family you need to see, anything at all that we can do to helping you? Like, we haven't really got much time to really see if there was anything you needed more help with outside of just helping the group.
Oh no, not so much. I only really got my brother left, but kinda left my home kind of abruptly. Over a year ago, so I don't know. I really need to go see them. They should be fine.
He's helping.
But they're smarter than me.
I mean,
So.
you seem pretty smart yourself.
Flash cuts to the trap that happened yesterday. Sorry.
Yeah, right?
That's what Navi's talking about. Stat-wise, Navi's way above them.
Yeah. I just imagine Flint saying that. Navi looks back up. Flash cuts to. Flash cuts back.
You know, Navi's strips, I think Stitch would disagree with that.
I'm not meaning. Not everything has to be by proper smarts. There's street smarts, after all, and there is survivability and whatnot.
I mean, they might have me beat them both, but maybe not books, but street smarts would definitely have me beat. I don't even know how. They're more of a noble than I am.
To be honest, I believe the majority of the group is noble, except for Wen at Wex. I mean, I don't really know much about him. He's really silent all the time. He just sneaks up on people out of nowhere. And he just randomly decided, hey, I'm part of your group.
See, it's the fun part.
It's like a weird agent of chaos of some kind.
When you think about it, that's kind of how myself and Kilo had joined the group.
I mean, yeah, but in a better sense, I mean, Kilo had his very flamboyant master to work off of to getting into us. And you were just kind of hanging around, really.
I never met his master.
Really? It's the... Oh, God, what's his name again? I mean, the dude was... Nefar, that's right. Nefar Leafcrest. That flamboyant fucking salesman of magics. And he kept putting on... I swear he was more of a bard than a wizard himself, if anything.
There's maybe he failed bard school and that's why he became a wizard.
Yeah, but he still kept up with the damn eccentrics. I mean, hell, whenever we had an issue of, like, trying to identify the problems of someone possessed by demons and literally used as it, he just couldn't figure it out until his mind almost got shattered.
And was he more or less flamboyant than Kilo? Gotta ask now.
Less so. Well, Kilo was less so compared to the Master. I mean, where do you think he got the tricks of the trade from?
Maybe when we take out the dragon or the doctor, we'll find Kilo. He doesn't really show up after those, right?
I mean, he plans to, especially for the doctor, because, well, Croft has him on his shit list. And again, I am also
There's
on
a
the
lot
Croft
of people
shit
on
list,
this
so I
list
can't
at this
really
point.
say much there.
Pretty sure I was listening for. Aren't you guys on the cross shit list as well?
Mainly me and Osmira, yes. All for the points of, well, I bargained with the Croth originally and brought back 2 of my friends. Which was one point of it. Then also on there, and another worrisome bit back during having to fight the Rhyme Maiden originally, another party member died, and I had to exchange a soul for a soul, and unfortunately that left me with losing a best friend and giving an ally who, more or less, we lost contact with after we had to kill their teacher. And finally on the point, when I did properly die by drinking a holy artifact that I thought I had a chance, a little bit of a chance of being able to wield, and it was quite a powerful one. But since I did not come to its criteria, I died. And then Osmira got herself cursed with a fucking amulet of some kind that embedded itself into her, and she could no longer go into the moonlight lest she burst into flames and die. And in the process of it, she went to revive me. And then there, Nekroth gave one final deal between me and her. The moment either of us die, we both die immediately, and we are both trapped in his realm to be suffered and tortured with because, well, we fucked with his domain way too much, as he would put it. And then finally, well,
Other than the second half of that, it doesn't seem like too bad of a fate.
well, other than that, the amulet curse was removed off her by, well, I believe you were there for that, whenever the giant fucking, it was either you or Seraph. No, yes, I believe it was Seraph. Basically, the amulet got taken off whenever the demon that was possessing the Mousefolk came about in a way of basically withering it off her chest. And then finally on the point, it led to Kiana breaking our curse that Nekroth had put on us. So we no longer would die together, but we also would never be trapped in his accursed realm. Doesn't mean it can't happen again later if we do actually die, though.
True.
Yep.
You guys don't? At least not for a while.
I would hope not. I mean, I try my damnedest to keep everyone here living. I've already failed enough of that with plenty of friends.
Oh, don't worry. At least while I've been here, you've done a pretty good job. Kilo kind of took himself out. Very flamboyantly, mind you.
Oh no, I don't blame myself for Kilo, because Kilo, for all those smarts, he went out in a most, best I can say, dumbass way that somehow came to a good ending.
I think you mean badass.
I mean, who thinks of blowing up their entire spell book, using every bit of power within it just to kill one person, and then not even truly kill them?
I don't think they knew they wouldn't truly kill them.
Yeah, but in the end, it still was a single sacrifice versus killing one body. Anyways, I'm just gonna wait around for Stitch. If you probably want to get to bed. At least for the morning. Or evening. Technically it's midnight right now. What the hell is it so bright out there for?
It's because of it, the time hasn't been set back. It was morning. It's like 9. It was
Yeah,
like
that's from Friday.
Yeah, it's like
no,
9:30 right now.
Flint sounds so angry at Oz.
Flint sounds angry at Oz? No.
It might be the sleep deprived. It might be sleep deprived.
Passive
honestly.
aggressive.
Again, probably more sleep deprived. than
Yeah,
anything.
it is probably more sleep deprived of worry of oh shit, oh god, oh shit, oh god, oh shit, oh god.
I was like, oh, I do want to make
It's
sure.
like, oh shit, that's a
Yes,
little passive
okay.
aggressive.
I guess I got that weird time will progress thing again.
Oh no.
I know we're also, I think by measurement, we're also like 100 and, what is it, 180?
Yeah, we're at 10:40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same like days, but 10:40.
10-4.
Well, it might also be because going back into the pack for the other one, they might be completely different, like day of entry. So
No, wait, let me look at the calendar, because I don't know why I remember it off of Oz's birthday.
Yeah, I think it's stuck because of the combat you guys are still in the Friday.
We were on the 11th, I think.
because of the other map, yeah. Weird. Maybe something to do with the module for the calendar stuff.
Yeah, like, it's not gonna let me.
Oh well, we know what time it is because we left
Yeah.
off in the morning.
We know the
Mhm.
date.
I think the month is this day, I think, though.
Oh, yeah, we literally went back, the way
Exactly.
We went back exactly 180 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to copy everything over to the new ones and would be dealing with this stuff, but it wouldn't let me.
Oof.
So, well.
It's all good. We technical difficulty
That's
stuff.
okay,
We
dude.
know. Yeah.
That's the right date.
Gotcha.
Because it's a week until something. Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, this will be interesting because I'm bringing the dog.
Doggo!
Because Umbra is with her this time. Probably a little bit annoyed, but he is still here. I guess was my only question before I start conversation with was the queen or not Cobard. anything different when approaching the castle in terms of like the air of it or like circumstance or anything like that?
Make an insight check.
Okie dokie. I shall do one for both Stitch and one for Umbra, though I think because he is exhausted, he will do his at disadvantage, which is fun. So I'll just have him assist Stitch because he's kind of just. Ugh. So this will either be meh or okay. Let's see. It's okay. That's a 16. So that is a 16 insight for Stitch.
You could probably tell that there is a definite change in the atmosphere around here.
Okay.
It definitely was more calm,
Mhm.
peaceful. Now it's more erratic.
Always kind of like keeping an eye over the shoulder kind of vibe. Okay.
When you enter into the Queen's chamber, you do see her in her chair. Just visually alone, you can kind of tell that her appearance is a lot more manic. Her eyes are kind of wide, red, hair's a bit frizzled. She looks like she hasn't like had a good decent sleep or had a chance to like properly take care of herself for a good while.
Mm-hmm. Stress of leadership and all that, and the management of it all. I think Stitch approaching with Umbra at her side, she would approach at the general same position that she had last time and would kind of, seeing that, would kind of, she would look down a little bit like if fit in a little bit in thought, but would shake her head for a second, just ever so slightly, and just, good day to you, my lady. I'm sorry that we have not gotten any word to you back sooner. It has been, we have been traveling to assist as much as we can, and only recently got back to the continent because of circumstance. I see much has happened while we've been away.
Yes, but a lot has happened. Many things. Have you brought any good news?
Stitch will look at her with actually a genuine smile. Yes, actually. You said it's just her in the chamber right now, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oof, worked then. Jeez, that's surprising.
What they're kind of dealing with? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, it makes sense. It's like, wow, yeah, not even able to spare guard for her. That's, oof, tough times. Well, we have accomplished a few things during our travels to the other places and the calls that we had to answer because of forceful circumstance with the high dragons up above, but I will say this, a good amount of information has been gathered, and ideally we seek to put some good use to it if we can in the coming days. Though, forgive my boldness to assume, as I do not know fully, with what you have been dealing with and the circumstances that have been at your gates, as Stitch will kind of she'll visibly look around the chamber a little bit herself. Is this a good place to talk of private matters and not having outside ears listen? Given with what you've been facing consistently.
I'm not even sure. In all honesty.
Well, then I believe this letter I have will be able to better explain the circumstances and the news I wish to bring you. And Stitch will stand up and will, if she permits it, she will get closer to bring her a letter.
Sure.
So. And she'll get up to here and she'll hold out a letter for her.
Okay, yeah, she will get through, slowly make her way towards you, and we'll take the letter.
This details the most prevalent information of what we have found and something that might be of direct interest to you, though, as it does state in the letter, the group we are having that I've traveled with currently, we have taken some losses, but we have equally found new allies, and, well, ideally, if the opportunity is still open, we will try to do what we can, but unfortunately, as much as I'd love to confirm whether or not it is 100% possible, right now a lot of this is riding on a maybe, as she'll hand over the letter proper. If she decides to start reading it, it would, for what Stitch can best have written down in a short time of walking over here with Umbra on a bit of paper she had, it pretty much describes everything that we were informed of from Chaos and everything we have learned in this last week of traveling and the circumstances of the Siren. Not fully disclosing, the best way to put it, everything pointing towards the Doctor. Maybe a little bit gray area-ish on the exacts of, we probably not saying, we got that information from the Siren or a dangerous creature of myth, but an entity that was tortured by the Doctor that we were able to negotiate with is probably what I would more so put it as for Stitch, of trying to be respectful. I think the only thing of blatantly that Stitch would put in the letter would probably be we met with another group that had rather good intel on the Doctor. Or probably in the entire letter, I'd actually say it's probably mentioning, it never probably blatantly says his name, but it would probably always refer to as you-know-who.
Gotcha.
Just her trying her best to, in case there are prying eyes and she's being monitored by a drone or something.
Yeah, I think with Umbra's passive perception, he would know that there are hidden drones all over the place.
Yeah, Umbra would then, I guess, feed that back for Stitch, and she would definitely nod. Yeah, she would definitely nod. Anything vital, I think you might wish to keep to yourself. Trying to be as discreet as she can be. But pretty much that would be generally, the idea of not a ton of exacts, but hopefully enough of an idea, especially because of probably her mind running through the loops of who is involved can probably figure it out.
Yeah, they're not like invisible or anything. They're just small enough they can just kind of hide.
Yeah,
in
very-
places, yeah.
Yeah, very hard to notice.
Yeah, very hard to notice.
I would also recommend, once you are done with that, to burn that.
She'll slightly nod.
I am sorry we've not been able to help in the matters with... I think this is probably the first time she's actually said his name of, I'm sorry we've not been able to help in the matters of the doctor, but current circumstances unfortunately made it rather, as I'm sure you well too well, to do anything about it. And unfortunately, I do not believe we currently have any means to fully pursue what we were going after for the initial intent of what we were after. Though, I do bring other news of something we are trying to attempt. I'm sure, while you have been manning your front, and I must say, if I know these words might fall on some type of deaf ears for you, as you have much problems for your people, but your management of keeping the people safe has been rather admirable, and you are doing a good job, from what I can tell. As knowing what you've been up against, it's rather impressive that everything is still here. I do hope to bring you some clarity of some type of good news, though, as I'm sure you have heard that of possibility of rumor and whisper of the shadow dragon to the south of here that has taken root and potentially can equally be a threat if left unabated. We are currently in the midst of preparing to try and remove such influence from the city, as we've recently found some information that it belonged, at one point in history, belonged to one of the, used to be a holy city of this world's ancient gods, or at least one of their ancient practices of worship. We have found some remaining fragments of strong imbued souls that are very much part of this faith that wish to purge this threat from the city, and we are planning to prepare as much as we can to help remove it so that we can gain allies from the eastern side of the continent, as if we are able to remove that, we should be able to have a passageway that is not contested by a greater threat, although with the other creatures running about, it might still be difficult.
Finding a way to the eastern continent is difficult. Yes.
Oh, not the eastern continent, the eastern side of this continent.
Yes,
Sorry.
no. Well, that's what I mean.
Hmm.
At least not by normal travel, no.
Hmm. Ideally, if we can, we are hoping to prepare and get what we can to at least open up that option back to us, though I know not how of ease that will be with the beast that we ran into during our means of coming back here that is now paroling the lands.
I do not know how much more we can hold out.
Hmm.
I'm doing everything I can to bolster our defenses, yet more and more guards keep disappearing day by day. It won't be long until we will be defenseless. We need help.
Hmm. I deeply understand. Many places on the continent right now seem to be struggling. In that regard, I do wish I had better news to bring you, but the alliance we were trying to help establish because of unfortunate circumstances that arose while we were forcefully called by one of the High Dragons to the northern continent, unfortunately. In our absence, some developments had happened, and while smaller individuals in threat, they managed to pull the right strings and cause some lasting damage within that alliance. We have currently re-established as much of it as we can, though it is shaky at best. Ideally, if we can, we can try to have word sent with Flint to have word sent to see if there is any assistance that can be sent your way, though I cannot promise it would be much, as Solanan is dealing with recovery of its own circumstance of martial law, and the kobolds are... I tried to speak to them to regain their might, as they have recently gained development and capability, and might honestly be able to help, but I know their trust has been shaken a little bit, and I know not if my words rung fully true to regain their trust. But I at least can say we can try.
Is there ones that you would like to try speak to on the other side? The ones that you try to reach?
There are, and from the little we have, at least from the archives from over there, and my own understanding, it is a rather unfortunate circumstances. If we can get over there, a lot of the more potential combative forces that could aid in our current plights, both of what you face here with the constant waves of abominations and the potential threat that's coming to Solanan.
Right. I see. There's a lot going on. Send. I only ask that you can send who you can, but I do have a way for you to cross over if you are able to make the journey.
That is the intent with what we are currently doing to remove the Shadow Dragon to allow us passage. Ideally, if we are able to do that, and we can thread the needle over that side, we can begin making our way over there and start informing the other countries and or cities of what is happening on this side. I'm sure the Leonin are quite well aware, and probably the Orcs in full are, to the south, are much more aware of what's currently happening. But
And more than likely, they're probably trying to shelter themselves as much as we are.
I guess as a question, Kober, just out of curiosity, if we would know via maps and such, is the Leonin city much big? What's the size scale comparison between the Leonin city and the Gnome city?
The Leonin city?
Yeah, because I know that it is more blatant knowledge that we do know that they are actually a city of capable fighters and a bit more they do actually have a bit more strength to them. I don't think we've ever gotten how much bigger are they as terms of are they actually a state city?
Oh yeah, no, they're way bigger.
Okay.
They're like a proper city.
Yeah. They are a proper independent body kind of thing.
But, I mean, this is your choice, so I'm not going to force you to do it, because it'll pile more onto your plate.
I mean, that already aligns for what we were intending to do after our current things. I just can't. Because of there's watchful eyes, it very much is a Stitch knows the feeling that there is somebody watching us.
But, if you are wanting to, she can send you to the eastern side. You don't have to go and deal with the Shadow Dragon. You don't want to.
True. I think Stitch has enough of a narrative drive to want to go do it, and also, yeah, we do now have the option to not do it. Problem still being, as the Paladins made a very solid point, because it was already very true, if we just nope out of that and just pretend it's not a problem, a week might be all the time that needs to happen for that dragon to now suddenly be equivalent to the Doctor. Considering it can just keep shadow breathing villages, and anything that dies to it becomes shadows. And those main shadows are forever loyal to the dragon. So... yeah. And it's like, yeah, we can, but it'll absolutely bite us in the ass if we don't. And honestly, I don't think we really have the time schedule to head over there, deal with the politics or circumstances of whatever the fuck the eastern side of the continent's been dealing with all this time during the whole current plans of circumstances and timelines. Maybe when the current two things we have planned are done, maybe, but...
Okay.
It's good to know, though. Makes some sense that a bigger city probably has, like, a teleportation circle of some sort.
Oh, yeah. Alright, well, is that all you wish to talk with her about?
Yeah, for the most part. I would like to insight check her again, just to see if, like, if the news of what was involved in that letter helped any, for, like, at least inspiring that there's some chance of hope right now. Because it would have definitely inclined the detail of an enemy we hate has an opening right now, and we're going to try to deal with something about it. But as she said aloud, it all rides on a maybe. So... I will do an insight check to see if that... Oh, 1 sec. I'm good. All good. Well, at least we gained some type of information from the Queen. Looking to everyone.
Are y'all
for...
roboting for anybody else? Because you guys are roboting so hard for me.
You're roboting a good chunk.
Oh,
at
I
the
love
moment.
that. Oh, right. Let
Yeah,
me see what I
you're
can do
roboting
about
just slightly.
Yeah.
Meh.
that. Better?
Still slightly roboting. At least try talking for a few seconds.
Tuning my mic settings, seeing if that's gonna help.
We'll have to see.
Is it helping it? Am I roboting?
Like slightly.
Okay.
You're understandable, but it is slight.
That's it.
Yeah, I had kind of figured, given this fuck's mind games, he probably has been watching her like a hawk.
Alright, yeah, you can make an insight.
Okay.
I don't think he's read the letter yet, so...
Oh, okay.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, it was my damn headphones.
Ah.
I thought it was my Wi-Fi.
Okay, then I can't really insight her if she hasn't read it, because I was wanting to do that just in case of the...
she hasn't read it yet.
Gotcha.
She might do it after you leave, but yeah, she hasn't looked at it yet.
Fair. Well, then yeah, I can't really insight her, but I guess I could still insight of, like, from what I've talked to, if that's helped any. So I guess I'll still do it. Just I can't do it for the original, so... Umbra mentally is assisting on reading body language, and thank God he is. That's at 14.
Oh gosh, in that one.
Yeah. 14. I mean, it's really hard to tell. She's still looks very paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
Probably for obvious reasons, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Understandably so. Well, that is all I currently had to bring to you, and we will be in town for a few days if there's anything else you would need to ask of us directly, though. Outside of what we are currently preparing to do and gathering what little we can, I do not know if any of the current bigger problems we face is able something to a task. I wish I could say we could deal with the roaming mockery that is of a dragon, but I think that is still sadly above us. But things will turn for the better. As Stitch will give her a proper nod and kind of a slight bow. If there's anything else you need of us while we are in town, please let us know. We are staying at the Stinking Weevil currently at the moment. Probably will be in town for a day or two.
She'll kind of nod. Okay.
And with that, Stitch will take her leave. Coming back to Umbra, seeing that he's laid down. Come on, we need to get back to the others so that you can properly get some rest.
I just got comfortable. Why are you having me move so much when I'm tired?
Come on. And I think Stitch would head on back to the inn.
Alright then. Anything particular we should do at the end, or?
I mean, I know probably entering, I know Flint said he was waiting for Stitch to get back. So, I know that conversation's going to probably happen pretty quick. I have no idea where Wex wandered off to.
Always room.
He's wandering off into a room. Don't worry about him.
Just a
Any room?
Yeah.
There's a room on the right.
Just any of the rooms on the right?
Did you,
Yeah.
I swear to God, if you went down.
God, I was gonna say, I swear to God, if you walked straight forward.
No, he did not.
Okay. Yeah, Stitch probably. How long would you say for Stitch going over there with riding Umbra and then delivering her conversation and her walk back? How long would you say that took?
I'd say probably roughly around like half an hour or so.
Half an hour? Okay. Fair enough. Huh. Stitch probably would have dismounted and Umbra's probably just found a spot that he's not bothering somebody and just resting.
Poor thing. Poor baby.
Yeah. Stitch is probably heading in inside, because onside, yeah, that's brain working.
English.
Yep. Oh, I'm surprised you two aren't resting already. looking to Navi and Flint.
Just want to make sure everyone got back over here safely.
Great. Ugh.
He's just reviving.
No, yes, I'm a bit neck deep in a few drinks.
Stitch is going to walk up. Normally would not do this, though she is going to lay on hands to remove your alcoholism real quick.
Okay.
And Stitch is going to kind of give you both like a group hug, pulling your heads in a little bit. Any talk of the doctor should be quieted.
Nothing about him so far. Just explaining situations and deals with Necroth and whatnot.
Still, anything going forward, nothing should be said while we are here. He's watching the town like a hawk. Had multiple of his little drones in the throne room with the queen.
A rotten old
And
bell.
Stitch will kind of pat you on both your shoulders. Well, hopefully now we can probably get you all some rest.
Yes, though I do feel like me and you need to take a bit of a side, because I do have something I need to talk to you about.
Oh, fair enough. I know I needed to talk with Oz and Navi here, but I was going to wait to do that after everyone had rested, as I figured, given our current time schedule of things, we at least have a few days, and I think perhaps taking them to recoup and get what we can for the coming events might be a good idea, but if you're wishing to have one now, I'm plenty fine with that. I do have a spare room. I had the spare room that was for myself, so if we can talk in there if you'd like.
Sure, I know that Oz is waiting for me in the other room, so hopefully we don't take too long.
Hopefully.
Little does he know. She's out.
No, I expected that. Also, I think the pause and pause is on off.
It might be happening for you in instance, so
Yeah.
real quick.
There we go, now I can move. Okay.
Stitch will look to Navi. Do get some rest, as we have been traveling for a bit, but when we are, at some point, I would like to have a talk with you.
I think I know what it's for. Yes.
Stitch will kind of pat her on the head. Well, this way then, Flint.
Yeah, sorry, I just looked back at text check. I was just like, he sounds so angry that I saved his life.
So, to confirm, Kobard, the room that was single and only had one thing would be technically this room, yes?
Not whatever this closet
that's
is down here.
That's the
Okay,
bathroom.
thank God.
Have a discussion with the
It was
janitor's
bathroom.
closet.
Yeah, Stitch would come on over and have a seat if you wish. And she'd just kind of, at the foot of the bed, she'd be taking the shield she has and resting it and just kind of taking off her pack and her satchel of 15 fucking javelins. And just
That's
sit on the bed.
He's just gonna lean onto the wall a little bit. So, this has been bothering me since our excursion back over with the, with Chaos back on the other continent. Our last few days before returning here and the final confrontation with, you-know-who. I've felt something entirely off with me since back then. So, something in me has changed and a bit more. I feel something worse may happen if I am to, come to Death's wandering gaze once again. Say it's
Would it
more
happen
of
to deal with? Would it happen to be with the time that you all went fishing in that strange place that turtle had taken all of you?
Yes, I gained my ability to breathe and speak underwater and move freely throughout it, and, well, my invulnerability to necrotic damage and necrotic nature.
Hmm.
Something about that fish changed something within my soul, biology, something of the sort. Besides giving me that power, I feel like there's something new that has happened, and a more foreboding issue that may come to be.
Do you believe it to be some type of curse?
Possibility of a curse, more or less a equilibrium from the gaining of the ability to be immune to necrotic. I felt like there may have been some drawback to it that I didn't know.
Have you checked if you can remove it?
I have subtly every couple of days, but nothing has seemed to work.
Hmm.
I think it's something more than my base magic can handle right now. So, what comes to my mind is, it's mainly something I wish to ask of you, because I don't want to. I don't think I can trust the others to. It's not that I don't trust them. I don't want them to have to go through this, because I know you and Umbra are strong enough to more than likely stop me whenever it comes.
I see.
I trust you the most. Only because I know that you know what to do whenever the going is tough. So, I guess, more or less with that, it just leads to, do you think you can do this for me? If I am to die and rise again as something that is far beyond my control, can you stop me from hurting others?
Stitch will look at you. I've had my fair share of run-ins with the undead, and anything that comes after it. I'm sure you have more experience in the sense of the rituals and such to prevent or deal with, but I still have had my fair shares.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot say whether or not whatever you feel is a dark omen that might happen, but I can assure that everyone gets out. And I will try my best to make sure that you are put to rest, if it is within my power. And if not, that I would come back to do it.
Thank you.
I would say, if you feel this way, I will accept this on one condition.
What is that?
Looking down to the experimental belt at your waist. I know you have protective magics for such exact things. If you feel the circumstance we are heading into is dangerous, and given the current everything we are currently going forward right now with, I believe the reason I said to you and Navi in the other room that we should stay an extra day is try to harvest some raw materials from the land and at the very least get some potions for not only ourselves and the events ahead of us, but also if we can get a few extras, maybe some we can pass to the paladins that would be accompanying us, but mainly potions of renewal for your magics and such, and so that we can have that more available, and in particular for exactly what you are fearing right now, as she'll look to her van braces that she now has. There's a possibility that after I rest, after these recharge, that I might be able to assist and see if I can help with that affliction of yours, but there is no guarantee it will work, and with the events coming ahead of us, I'd like to ideally let these recharge as much as possible if the worst should come, as they allow me to bring people back, though if what you say is true, I don't know if this would be enough to be able to prevent what you fear. But I know you have that magic. My request specifically being, if you feel the circumstances we are going in to be dangerous, put one of those barriers you have on yourself. Even if it means we dedicate a bit of the reserve funding and such we have now to make you the potions necessary to continue to do that. I believe that you owe us that in fairness, as I am willing to uphold that deal, but only so long as you are also agreeing that you are not going to die easy.
I would never go down easy. I understand your worry, and I promise you this. No matter what, no matter where, I will go down fighting till my last spell and till my last breath. And I will not give up so easily. The only reason I fear for my own end is my own mortal coil has been taunted with me. I've already died once. Been cursed by the god of death himself. Cursed my beloved. All to the point of wanting me dead. Not him, but for it to happen and for him to watch as I sit there for hundreds of years, just to witness everything and everyone for those many years die and go to him. I don't want that life, but I also don't want others to suffer from my consequences of what I've done.
Bit of a long shot to ask, as there was something that was brought up that might be, if we can, in the next few days while we are here. The Queen had put a little bit of an ask of if we can request any assistance from the Alliance to send any who are able to help defend this place, as it is being rather run thin.
As much as we can attempt, we already are amassing our own worrisome army for the ones coming towards our place.
Yes, I am plenty aware. The only one I was thinking we could ask, given Solanan is already having to deal with defending its borders, and I doubt can send anything, and the half-orcs are, or the orcs are very much
semi-on board,
and not everyone there is warriors. I was only thinking we could ask.
Well,
I was only thinking we could try asking the kobolds and seeing if they have anyone that's willing to come out.
it is dependent, but they are more or less their own people now. It's harder for us to.
That is true, but they are also rather now capable, and given how much they were able to give us a shake, despite all the hardships we've been through, just a few of them could balance out a good deal.
It could. We still have plenty of Alliance work to be done.
Of course.
And we already plan to lessen their burden soon enough.
It
We
would
already
be
have.
only an ask, it wouldn't be a tell.
I know. Well, we could ask, but only in due time. For now, though, I think we have bigger fish. Well, bigger fish, I guess they can say, to fry.
Yes. Given the current circumstances we face with the many events we will be facing with the Shadow Dragon and everything after it. What we know of the dragon, I mean, you are right now our best bet of combating it with your divine magics, the guardians you're able to summon, and being able to bring bright light to neuter most of its capabilities, though as it is not daylight, that'll be the trickiest thing. I think one thing we should agree on, if I know we still have to elaborate plans with said paladins and such, but I think the one thing we should agree on is that we need to be attacking that city, that keep, with it having daylight above us, as that'll give us our best chance of fighting it fairly.
You are not wrong, and I do think the way you say is right. It will take a full presence to bring down that beast and the monsters it has made from those people who did not deserve what happened to them.
Hmm. I can only hope there are survivors, but given what those creatures do, I know not. The odds are slim in that regard.
They are.
And it is still a worry for even us, as tough I might be to hit and challenging everyone might be with their strengths. Draining someone's directive vitality, even if it's not through inflicting wounds, is worrisome. We have something to help prevent it, and ideally, with the daylight and your hopefully just working our way to where the dragon is, and perhaps you casting the bright light to bring it in there, if we cannot open up the roof, to be able to combat that as much as we can would be beneficial, but there is still the chance that they might be able to hit us. I know at the moment you don't have the full mastery of the art to purify their infliction. At least I don't believe. Let me check Lesser Restoration really quick, because I don't think it's only Greater that could help in this instance. Does this help with the one thing? Condition affecting it? Yeah, no, okay. And then Greater. Undo a debilitating effect. Exhausted level 1 or end the effect of the fallen target. Yeah, reduce target's hit points, ability scores. Yeah, so it's Greater only. The good news is, at least with these bracers, it's only one use, but if someone feels their vitality is rather close, and why I want to ideally let them charge the next few days, these can at least combat the effects for a person, and I feel like with those paladins, we're going to have the best allies we can, as they're probably the only thing that can't be corrupted by that dragon's touch, or the shadows for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I did at least get the feeling that their strength and their oaths are a bit stronger than mine at the moment. I think their protective qualities might be able to assist everyone for other qualities that are behoovent of a dragon. But we will still have to see whether or not we are able to do what we need to. Though it is... I've used the magic of the gauntlets to assist myself for the whole chatting with the Queen, but I know everyone else is still recovering from the night prior. So, unless there is something else you would like to talk to about of the current circumstance, then...
Well, honestly, sorry. My mind is a bit wandered. It has been long, but yes, I believe it's best for us to handle the situation as we see fit. Sorry, I'm attempting very much not to pass out on your floor right now.
No, I completely understand. Get some rest. I would say that if you can, perhaps at some point tomorrow, we can go out and go search for some herbs and or materials for you and Navi to work with for potions.
Of course, I'll be happy to create more of what we need for the upcoming battle.
I also don't know if it would be of interest if you would be willing to help me with it, but as Stitch will kind of... Part of her gear that she's like pulled out of her backpack is sitting next to the bed. She's kind of pulled up the puzzle box, just holding it. I'd like to open this at some point, but given the tricks of a dragon, I'm not sure I'll be fully at the task of opening it, nor do I know how it works of it's whoever looks inside and anyone who's present, or if it's just the person who opened it.
Well, I'll help what I can with that, but I don't deny I'm not the smartest in the room.
It seems to be more insightful of understanding the meanings of the puzzles.
Then I will help you look into it when I can.
Hmm.
We have days for that, and we
We
have
do.
days to create these. So I'm sure we'll take our time with it.
Above board, there's also the fact that you can't, like, it's more insights or like wisdom stuff, so you can use perception.
Yeah, no, I will be pretty much fine whenever it actually comes to doing that, because I have the highest in the party.
Yeah, it was either that or I was gonna have Umbra, like, try to help Umbra with it.
Yeah, no, Flink can easily help you with that. But thank you, and you really have reassured me for this, and I appreciate that. So, I will go ahead and get some sleep.
Of course. And I think just because Stitch already has it out and she's kind of in a mindset of fuck it, why not? I think for at least because technically she's okay to do stuff. She just has to do like light activity. She can't do anything like strenuous or anything. I think Stitch is gonna try to for a little bit while she's like just relaxing. She's gonna fiddle with the ball, trying to see if she can get it open.
The puzzle box?
Yeah, she's gonna try to fiddle with it because technically because of the greater restoration she did for herself, she just needs to rest, not necessarily sleep. So while she is resting, she's just gonna be fiddling with that to see if she can get an understanding of it and how much of a challenge this thing is gonna be.
Okay, for the first layer of the box. Could you please roll me a survival check?
Okay. That is. I was figuring we get to choose it, but okay, that's definitely different. That's 10.
Oh no.
I'm not bad at that either. I just have proficiency.
Umber can't help you with that.
He is resting outside, and I don't think he really wants to be bothered because I've already pushed his button for the day of hey, we're doing something when you are like dead ass tired.
To the gnome queen's place.
Yeah. I don't know if it came through when she was like walking back to hop back up on him, but he's like, come on, we've got to go back to go rest. And he's like,
I just literally got comfortable. Why are you making me move when I am tired like this?
Poor Umbra.
So, yeah, that's it.
Alright, so as you work the puzzle box, trying to solve it, you do get to a point where you struggle to find the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And as you incorrectly put in the next step, the box will begin to change and shift as everything doesn't go back to the way it was, but becomes different.
Hmm.
Next check will require a perception roll.
How long would you say that was for the first like fiddling with it?
How uniquely crafted this thing is, I would probably say like an hour. You probably spent like just toying around with it.
Messing with it. I think she'd do it for one more before like really like just kind of resting. I will say though, with the first failed check and kind of trying to get a vibe of this, I imagine probably part of a reason for being a little distracted on the first one and trying to think of it.
Yeah, you can definitely tell this is very intricate.
Mm-hmm. Do I recall either from the words of what the paladins had said of this thing, or like probably like what the intentions could be of if the truth that they had mentioned of this thing will show you the truth, if that is more in the case of like for the person who opens it or for those who are around kind of thing.
I don't think they exactly explain whether or not it will show you personally for the one that opens it or those that are.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
But,
that's why I'm saying, like, with her knowledge of Kandal, and like what they had said and compiled on of like this thing will show you the truth. What like if she can get a grasp of it's just going to be one way, or if it's probably just going to be like if you can get it open, it's good enough kind of thing. Like it's just she's just trying to get a vibe with opening it, like thinking back on that.
All right.
I mean, if not, that is perfectly fine because she definitely got a lot of shit on the mind, especially with stuff she's going to talk about, party mentality, health, and the whole what now Flint has requested of her. So.
But all I can say is that whenever you open it, something will happen.
Okay. So pretty much a vague, wise dragon tale, not really being ever accurate of what the fuck it's gonna do outside of vagueness. Got it. Got it. Yeah. I think Stitch might leave it alone and just kind of rest thinking on stuff.
Alright, so you're not gonna fiddle it anymore? Alright.
No, not at the moment. Just like she was doing it to see if she could like stumble upon like if she was making progress towards it. She'd try to keep going, but at the moment, I think she's like very much in a thinking and reflecting on like what she knows of Kundal, the followers of his, and then everything else. I think like after the first hour, kind of like not making much headway and seeing that it completely changes and that it's very much different virtues and it is very much you have to respond versus active. It is, yeah. I think she's just gonna leave it on the little table and just kind of stare at it for a bit, just kind of thinking on stuff.
Okay. Alright, I'll say that you will get your rest then.
Huzzah. Be goneth exhaustion. All good, Giraffe. That's only got to track on the one map because it wasn't a. I could have sworn I linked his token to his sheet. Resources. Yeah, there we go. Well, bam. Yeah, I guess I just had to check that for him, yeah. Huh. Oh, when we get back to the other map, I'll remember to do that. But, yeah, you're clear of exhaustion. Hooray. Just so the giraffe knows. And I'll just press the longest button for the characters. Hooray. Oh, it does that automatically. Neat. Huh. I didn't realize it could do that.
Interesting.
I guess that item's programmed in a way that it actually does it when you do that. Interesting. I'll have to look at that later because I didn't realize you could set that up on Foundry. Cool. Racers are fully charged again. Yeah.
Oh, wait, did we lose Giraffe?
Giraffe said that they would be right back.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we have long rested.
Okay.
So, since it would have been like 8 hours to reset the thing that happened, so I mean, we'd be 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, or 7, so we'd be at 7 o'clock at night. Oh boy, gotta love our sleep schedule getting fucked.
Yeah, I mean, normally I don't sleep anyway.
Yeah. Goodness, this reminds me of my IRL sleep schedule. Yeah. I feel you there. I think after resting for a good chunk of time, Stitch would gather her things, put the ball or the puzzle box back into her bag, regather herself with all of her equipment, and would probably go out to the front area to be able to meet everybody.
Alright, it will be right back. So, feel free to talk amongst yourselves if you wish.
Here.
I was just gonna unplug their ears because they had little wax bits in their ears when they went into the room.
That wax snoring.
It's insane. Morning.
No, technically evening, but yes, for us.
I'm pretty sure we're nocturnal.
Curious. So I guess you're all right for your kind then, huh? Well, evening/morning to you as well, Navi. Well, since everyone else is still taking their time in the morning to get up, you do value your life, right?
I do.
What a depressing way to start the morning with that question.
It makes sense. What I did yesterday, and that's
I mean, it technically applies to you as well, Lex.
kind of did decide to go running around. Probably not the smartest idea. Well, I checked that room the best I could. I did not cross my mind. I forgot about magic.
Hmm.
No matter how well I look in something, I can't really see the arcane.
And I don't blame you for that, just... I know you two are very giddy to run around and go looking for anything and everything that was now available, and we hadn't really fully checked everything. And especially with what we're trying to do, that could have been very damning if I hadn't jumped in when I did.
I did thank you. And if I said it then, thank you very much.
I just wanted to make sure, and this partially extends to you, Wex, though less so, of just... I know not if it's feeling comfortable with the rest of the group, as we are somewhat seen as more of the newer arrivals, but I just want to make sure that we have that worked out before what we're going to do, as simple mistakes like that might cost a lot more going forward.
Understood.
Stitch will kind of just put a hand to your shoulder, just kind of like patting you. Just, I don't want you to feel that I'm lecturing you, as I'm not your parents and you are your own person. But I just wanted to make sure that you were reminded.
It's my first time really adventuring. I've only been adventuring for a few years. So, your giving me advice does help. Don't see it as lecturing, more so informing.
That is very fair. I've already brought it up with Flint, but given our few-day stay here, ideally we can try to stay to get some, maybe search around the local area around the borders of the town and see if we can collect any herbal benefits for you two making some potions. As I believe we might need to stock up a little bit with the events going forward.
Definitely.
Speaking of that, she'll look to Wex. I know that you've been very enthused for the idea we came up together for the three of us, but I do believe it might behoove us to actually practice it instead of just seeing if it's even effective in the moment for our idea of reverse fetch.
But think of it this way: if we practice it, right, that could be good. Or we iron out the kinks in the moment.
See, I only feel like that's going to have the opposite of a lot more can go wrong, considering... Has it even crossed your mind yet of one of us tosses you up, you miss, and the creature then eats you? Because of the fact we didn't practice it.
Then cut my way out.
Sure, you can attempt that, but there might be a creature that you can't. I'm just saying
Good thing I
maybe
got
to get a...
spells then.
That is true. I'm just saying maybe us getting a bit of an understanding of how this will work might be in favor for us at some point to practice it.
You're not gonna let us go, are you?
I would rather us know what we're dealing with if we are going to legitimately attempt this. As again, I am all for the idea. You've settled your case of it could be rather effective, and I, thinking it over last night, yesterday, I can't really disagree. It could be rather lethal. I just think it might be a good idea to know how it fully will play out. I mean, in a similar vein, I don't want to be throwing away your life for us trying something we don't even know if it will work.
But we don't know if I'd be throwing away my life without trying it.
And that's why you're only proving my point. She just looks at
No,
you
I mean
like...
trying it in the moment. I mean, in practice, I'm not gonna lose my life, so
Well, of course. I'm just saying that having a better understanding of if you need to be more the one to direct it, if we just let the natural circumstance of the environment take hold and do its work and you'll be fine, if maybe it's a bit of both parts, I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns with this idea. Navi just did a very groggy facepalm at Wex's comment of he cut his way out of what eats him while at the same time realizing that they tried the same. I mean, it's valid. But at the same time, I mean, there's a chance you might run into something you can't. I'm not saying we have to do a ton of drills or we have to make a day of it, just maybe a few practice throws and getting an idea of if you need to be the one to direct it or if I do, or the person throwing you does, or such and so forth.
As
also
much
just
as I
figure-
don't want to practice this, I will do a couple practice throws if it'll make you feel better.
I was also just figuring it could be a bonding moment for the two of us, as again, I still know very little of you, and you've learned a lot about us.
But what do you want to know? I mean, you could just ask me.
Seeing we've tried, and you've given very vague responses.
Yeah. And?
Look, we have done big questions too, to be fair.
I mean, you know that my family's in town. I don't know what they're doing, but they're in town. You know that I don't really want to see them at the moment. What else?
Understandable.
That you're traveling with us because it sounded fun, and that's...
Oh, that's not completely true. It's most of it's true, yeah.
Oh no. But I can't really blame you for that. That's kind of the reason I ended up venturing with you guys as well.
I mean, honestly, it's like, I mean, back when you all were here earlier, I mean, it was more of, like, I knew about the group tangentially. Kind of like these newcomers came in, talked about some stuff, went to the Queen, all that, and then bought up some stuff and left. And then I heard some stuff about you wanting the city to be a part of the, what do you call it? The group, the thing you're doing.
The peacekeeping
Peace
alliance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to more formally recognize it, but I think the circumstances with that as it was back then haven't changed too much. If anything, it's only further proven their point of their having to take care of themselves.
That was like most of it, but also I can't get out there by myself. Mainly, I mean, if I was on the road, I mean, I could probably survive, but at least with all of you, I'm able to get into some fights and satisfy my blade, more or less, while actually doing some good, you know? So...
Stitch is just smiling at you during this entire, like, very much like smart, like, is it really that hard to open up? Like, just kind of like, yeah, go on.
He's just looking at you like, you never really asked fully.
I have multiple times. You're just always answered vague.
He's not
He still has that look on his face of going, you guys just haven't asked the right question yet.
Now he just is looking between them like, okay. Okay.
Fair
More to
enough.
say?
I mean, that's a start. Your magic is
What do you
most
mean that's a start?
to understanding all of you, as she just kind of generally motions with her hand of like how you joined us in your sudden appearance. That's a better understanding than I've had the past week or so.
Well, there you go.
While we're on the topic and waiting for everyone else to wake up proper, what about your magic? It is rather curious.
My magic?
Yes, it seems bound to your blade.
Because it is. Not like this blade, specifically that I have right now, because I had a blade before that and I changed it, but yes.
Yes, I've worked with one before, a similar practice, though they were a bit of a multi-specialist. Though I think yours is different from theirs.
Wax shrugs, like, I don't know who you're talking about, so I have no
yes,
idea.
like Stitch's understanding of like, yeah, it's like, I'm not fully practicing it myself nor really understand the strangity of it, just curious as all.
I don't think that's anything like my Hemocraft, so.
No,
Well,
I mean, honestly, I don't know all the ins and outs of it myself, but I do know that when I fight, I get magic. And every so often, I just I might need to get into a fight every now and again. I don't really know. The thing hasn't talked to me in a bit, but
It
if that's the case. Maybe. I don't remember.
I was going to say, I know my one friend, his was something that just called out to him, and he found an aspect of something that was always a part of him. But
Well, I don't think that's for me.
no, absolutely, and that's what I was going to ask of. Did you wake up with this?
Oh,
You
I have
always
no
had
idea.
this? Did you discover it?
Mm. He just shrugs.
So you just, as far as you can remember, just have had this.
No, I mean, I didn't have the weapon at one point, and then I did. I don't know how I got it, though. So, just kind of there. I think it was a gift, maybe. But
Curious.
from who? Don't know. Don't really care. To be completely honest. Might have been from my mother. Was it? Nah. Nah, she was always against weapons.
Stitch is just looking at you like, great, I've answered a question and now I have more. Like, it's very much like that. She was drinking a drink on the side and just been like looking at you. And if you know the moment, it is very much like Frieza like moving forward in TFS Abridged of just like the chair creaking of like, what are you? I can't read you. And I think at that point, Stitch, seeing that Flynn and Oz have joined us. Good evening/morning.
Hello, we're talking about my sword. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Go.
I feel like whenever you ask someone in this group a question, you end up with more questions with whatever they answer with.
I mean, we rarely get to sit down and have a chat like this, so... I mean, if we're taking the time, I think if there's any questions any of us want to ask that are not too personal, now might be the time. Before we get busy again.
Hmm.
I know I was talking to you two to get to better know you.
I'm guessing you.
I'm sure you have questions for us, given your recent joining.
That's the main question: is what got you all starting the adventure? Yeah, I assume was partially due to your paladin. The paladin oath. The other two. It puzzled me a lot.
Oh, I thought it's just joined up to... Because something had to do with her mom.
Not really.
Oh.
My reasoning for traveling is a bit convoluted, though simplistic at the same time. I think at this point, just since everyone's waking and it's like, it's late at night, and, you know, in fairness, just kind of to cope with things, I think Stitch would break down a bit of her money and get, like, a round of drinks for the group.
Okay.
Since
Hey,
we're
we
just
won't
kind
pay
of
out of free
chatting.
drinks.
Yeah. I mean, however much that'll cost for just a round of drinks for the group while we're just kind of having a bit of a discussion of circumstance for each of us.
No problem.
Stitch would kind of like take a swig and then just kind of lean forward a little bit and looking at everyone else. My reason of travel, I mean, the short version of it generally, which I'm sure Oz is aware of from what I've told her before, and I believe Flint has heard bits and pieces, but 16 years ago, my life wasn't all really that different from most outside of my mother. And outside of what you've seen, which she'll kind of like nod like in like the direction of Oz specifically, of like your opinions of what you've seen I cannot fault you for, as I will not tell you you are wrong, though what I can say is that you have not seen both sides of it, as while she has her moods, she also does care most than others, as the little I do know is if The only other parent dragon I believe that might be a little bit better would be that of a silver or gold, as I believe anything else is pretty much, once you're born, they just leave and never want to talk with you again. Unless you are invaluable to plans or something they wish to have passed down to you or something. So, at least I'm not to be the herald of some destiny that she would force upon me and or possibly cast me to destroy the world or something. And she's just, like, being very, like, sassy in the sense of, like, hey, in fairness, it could be much worse. But my life was rather normal 16 years ago when I was younger. Until my father had decided to go out on an expedition for his research. At the time, I was rather young and didn't fully understand why he was going outside of his medicinal research and such, but I later learned he was a rather practiced alchemist that was seeking to do general good for the public, and his research was rather imperative. He was trying to figure out a way to help remedy allowing those of the races of who had a shorter lifespan to maybe be able to live a bit longer and bolstering the natural fortitude of those of us with shorter lifespans. Unfortunately, his caravan halfway through went completely missing. And I don't just mean robbed by bandits or, kidnapped. I mean gone without any type of trace. The tracks that led up to his point, between two of his stops, the tracks just stopped. Out of, I believe, the 50 people that were sent with him, nobody's seen any of them since. A fraction of that being some of my mother's champions, and those that were specifically hired to keep him safe. First thing we did while we were here is contact the High Dragons and her own investigations and mine as well. Nobody had any answer. Not even Necroth.
At least you know they're not dead then, because they're probably the Necroth.
Well,
would he not?
Well, the problem was he had no means of telling whether he was alive or dead, as he put it. It was perplexing, as we had nothing for 16 years. Part of us have acknowledged the possibility of him being dead. Another part of it that he might still be out there. Though recently, that got a bit of an update with that, but that's jumping a bit ahead. Around that point when he went missing, and that kind of hit me hard, I wasn't in depression much for too long that period, as that was around the point when Umbra had found me, and I'd had my interaction with him. I believe that was before I was told the news, and I had my encounter with him.
I was going to ask about that, because it's the only wolf that gives off the sense of the Fae. He seems kind enough, at least to us. It always makes me feel cautious around him. Hopefully he doesn't take offense to that.
No, that's the proper way to be around him. I mean, there are others of his kind that are better and worse, though. Honestly, outside of his interest in me, I'm not sure why he sticks around so much. Never really fully answered. He's always been cryptic about that. Just saying that he's had a lot of investment of curiosity of such an individual with multiple sources of power. But I met him, and about the same time, that was when my mother had adopted my adopted brother, to lessen the impact of losing family, as I was rather close with my father. That was when Zane was adopted, and I had them around, and Umbra was around for a good while of my youth, but left after a point as he had to follow up on research, which I now know was him visiting the Fey Court's libraries to do his own research. I'm more integrated with society after that point, as I was living in the countryside with my family and not really having much contact outside of those who worked with my mother, and lived for a little while. Eventually found my calling and went to training in the Elven City to the east, and met up with one of my few other friends that I've had, which was, as she'll kind of point over to Wex, who I was referring to earlier. A good man, Irving Stone. Actually, yeah, let me make sure, because I had changed a bunch of shit in my things for the characters. I want to make sure that's saying that right. For who it is. Ivan Stone. It's reversed, but Ivan Stone, rather good man. Honestly, a lot more capable than I am.
You see that, but you're quite capable yourself. So.
You should have seen him. He got promoted 2 years early before needing to leave. I had to do the full course time for 4 years of training of it, and he managed to pass in 2. And we both enrolled about the same time. I believe he's still somewhere on the eastern side, probably dispatched to the Tiefling City.
Maybe we'll run into them.
Perhaps, but my reason of traveling right now is I was trying to figure out any reason of generally helping her out, following the oaths I've taken, and seeing if I can find any leads on my father, which, with more recent developments in this group, I've finally found something of. Apparently he is alive, and he's, for whatever reason, in the conjoined city of the Aarakocra and Aulin to the east. Which still honestly baffles me, given I went through there to go training and such, and I just don't know why if he's all right and he's there, why he's not sought out to contact us. Now, not to mention my brother's apparently missing, which is fun.
Goodness. No.
And the whole developments of what I've been learning, so.
You have a very interesting family. Hopefully we get to meet them eventually. Hopefully we can find them.
Ideally. I mean, if what my mother said was true on our trip, closer to a week at this point of the days, well, getting there. If what she said is true and she last heard him, then my brother, at least for what I know, was last seen 3 months ago. As if she lost contact with him, about that point, I know he was in the Tiefling City he was staying there for trading for a good amount and restocking, as that was about 6 months ago when I last saw him, and I know he was staying there for a bit, so that means that there's about a month window where he's nobody knows where he is, so that's generally it for me. I just happened to run into, she'll point a thumb over to Flint and Oz. I ran into them after a request from one of the cities I was traveling through that had a report of frozen wolves in the area causing a bit of a problem, as the leader of it was a bit more intellectual and a bit more cunning. That was only just after I'd restocked myself on equipment and only recently learned how to, about a week or so before, learned how to remanifest Umbra, as I had only just dealt with a similar incident, though of different property, of a necrotic wolf that was inhabited by Lich's soul. But
Wonder why they choose a wolf.
from what I remember, it was not by choice. The wolf had ate the phylactery. It just kind of happened.
I think they chose the wrong size phylactery.
Yeah. I mean, it worked in our favor. We were able to kill it because it was it greatly neutered what he was capable of. Though, considering he was slowly corrupting an entire forest, I mean, it was still a problem.
Yes.
That's actually where Stitch will kind of point to her left shoulder. That's where I got the scar on my left shoulder from. Bastard would not let go.
That seems to be what wolves do.
Eh? But that's generally for me. I've gathered a decent bit for Flint and Oz for wanting to do the peacekeeping and such, and wanting to help make a difference there, though at the current moment, with everything we're facing, I don't know. I shall take another swig.
Navi will as well.
I was just taking a big swig at the question. Ooh.
Anything to say on that? I shall set down the drink.
You're saying that to Navi or to...
She's saying that, like, she's looking probably over Navi and Wex, given height differences. She's probably looking over directly to Flint and Oz.
Oz is not looking at the group.
My insight Oz. I can.
Yeah. I give permission, I guess.
Are you Fae Fiend or undead?
Yeah.
Oh, she's human, so...
I know, joking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just say, are you Fae Fiend or
You're
undead?
undead. I mean, hey, in fairness, it's a fair question, because you have to ask as a blood hunter, because technically that would trigger for Stitch because of story reasons.
But you know what? I'm gonna give myself advantage with that real quick.
Why?
How are you doing that?
I am doing that with...
Why?
Oh, All Father's Eye, that's right, you do have that ability. Right, you can just do that.
Does it say anything?
I'll roll it normally. Let's see, just see if I get a nat 20. If I get a nat 20. Where's that
It
going?
always
How's Ross feeling
appears.
right now?
There's a lot in there she does not want to talk about right now.
Does it seem related, as an outside interjection, if I may, does it seem related to the question or in general? Just to give him a little bit more for the insight.
Yeah, because he got so high.
I guess the question is, does it seem like a certain part of the conversation that Stitch was just having? Seem to be mostly.
Well, the 16 years thing, definitely. And then, probably more towards the question. Okay. Have a nice day. I hate when you guys insight her.
The best part is this is an insight. They
Uh,
built for it.
well,
And we just give a look and just be like, I know I'm new, but you can tell us stuff. But I won't pry if you don't want to.
I'm fine.
But I will cry.
And I was just gonna be like,
You're gonna cry.
Nope, gotcha.
I won't cry, but I will cry.
Now he's not gonna say anything, just kind of think in her head. She can't lie that easily. You're very bad at lying.
I know I am. Shut up.
She doesn't say that out loud. I don't know, she whispered to Stitch, she's very bad at lying.
Stitch won't really kind of dignify what you say, but you don't necessarily get the feeling that she's ignoring you. It's probably more she understands and knows.
Yeah.
Because you would see as you look over and you look back to Stitch, you would see that she's kind of just she's just drinking.
Mental notes.
I mean, I'd say he's fucking accomplished. I mean, he's up there enough to probably, I'd say, like, probably still a little bit weaker than the mother, but not far behind, because she was booned by her, and then he's a fucking wizard that's had a lot of chances to work with shit, and he doesn't really have the problem of money because he's a merchant, so God, like, I'd probably say, because he's capable, he's probably like 14, 15, like in that ballpark, because I'd imagine he's up there, yeah, 15.
15? 15.
Yeah, for like level range, because I mean, I'd imagine he'd kind of have to be for being untrackable by anyone he doesn't want to be found by, and being able to teleport a fucking caravan anywhere. So, he's got to be up there. But yeah, yeah. Stitch will, seeing as Oz is wanting kind of doing what she usually does, Stitch will kind of look back to Flint.
Pushing shit up.
Do you have any response to the question, Flint, or are you still groggy from the morning?
What? What question?
Why are you traveling?
Your reason of traveling, I've had a general understanding it being wanting to establish peace with that and right things if you can, though my question more was, since we're trying to open bridges a little bit to not be so divided and feeling some way, what, if your reason, has it changed any since you've been traveling recent?
From immediately us getting out from this whole issue, or... Okay, sorry, I thought I was hearing the beeping of something else, but I realized it was the background music.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, since traveling out, originally it was more or less the job. Before I started going out truly adventuring with the group, it was mainly because I sought to be able to survive and hold my own, since really back then I didn't have anyone else to turn to in the world, except for one person. And then I met up with the group, and, well, yeah, some of them became some of the closest people I ever known. And traveled with them for a few years before the most recent adventures, and, everything started going downhill. I mean, I spent several years as the main clergyman of that town, and rarely did I ever go out to go seek any other audience or anything of the sort. My only main reason to travel now is the original intention was to try and create peace with this world, since there was already too much at stake where if nothing was to be done, then the rest of this world would turn to chaos, war, mayhem. Many dead, many I did not wish to see dead. Now, I just want to finish off what I started. I want to be able to try and get this dealt with. The people, the world, the damn dragon, of course, for all of his crap he's put us through. Just I'm ready to see this journey through to the end.
Hmm.
Be it the end of me, or be it the end of our adventure here. And once it's done, I feel like I need to at least take a few years to clear my mind and settle back down.
I think you've definitely earned that, given what you've been through. What we're having to go through.
Mm-hmm. It's worse because they never really tell you about these things in those old storybooks and whatnot.
There's certainly a lot they leave out.
Especially how hard this can be on the person's mind.
Yes. I think the only reason I'm a bit more prepared for it is given in training for one's oaths and vowing such to one be what you are, you kind of have to know that, and it's a bit drilled into your head when you're training like that.
During the work of the clergy, being around the deceased, the sick, the injured, those who sought out help and healing, I had no problems with it, but when it became more personal, more affected by those I cared about, it truly weighed heavy on my mind.
Hmm. Yeah, I can certainly understand.
Hmm.
Well, seeing as it is already later in the evening, I don't think we'll really be able to stop by many shops or anything, so outside of doing some searching for herbs and the such, I think, for the most part, it would be anything we would need to take care of personally. Though, given what we have seen in town, I don't exactly think I'd want to bother any of the shops, as I get the feeling it's going to be much of the same.
For sure.
Stitch will look to Flint and to Oz. Is there anything you two would like to ask on any of us here while we have the moment?
You could ask this question as well, Stitch.
I know, and I already somewhat did with Wex and yourself before. And I don't exactly want to go prying into things you don't wish to say.
At this point, and how many times you guys, how many times you in particular, and I guess Flint as well, have saved me at this point. You guys could ask anything, I'd probably answer it.
Fair enough. Stitch, I think, would look down for a second, looking at her drink, and just kind of shakes her head for a second, and kind of will stand up. All right, there's something I need to talk to you about. And she's gonna stand up, and she is going to go over and go to Oz. Sorry, but we need to have a talk.
I'm sorry?
Come along. And she's she's gonna lift you, and it's like, we need to have a talk.
Okay. You can put me down. I'll come with you. God.
I'm tempted to have Navi inside that, but at this point they're just like, taking a sip of the drink.
Just lifting me from my seat.
I mean, yeah, she would do it, because she's wanted to make sure you don't run from this, so... So she will absolutely bring you along to her room.
Me down. I'm not. Oh my god.
Philip Neville will just jokingly say, "Run for your life, Oz. Run for your life."
You'll be fine, honey. I spent a bit of time in there yesterday.
Yeah. And Stitch will close the door.
Yes. What's
I
your
think
problem?
I think Stitch would literally put you down, or like let you walk yourself at that point. She would take the chair, put it against the doorknob, and is gonna lean against the wall. And she's just gonna she's not sitting in it like that way. She's gonna set it against the door and have it block it. And she's just gonna lean very close to it. So I don't mean to pry, and I only do this because I care about your health, and I care for you deeply as a friend. But you're not responding to anything that's happening. And as someone who's done that a lot themselves, given what my profession is and having to do that for years, I understand that it's a hell of a mindset to be in and not exactly pleasant. So I'm going to ask, would you like to talk about it proper? Because I want to give you the choice before I involve magic. Because I care for you, and this is
Are
not
you
healthy
threatening
for
me?
you. No, I'm wanting to help you.
I mean, what exactly do you want me to talk about? There's, like, you kind of like barricaded me in here. I'm feeling a little. I don't know.
Generally everything that's been on your mind, given ever since we've went to the temple with that beast you've previously been involved with, you've been rather deflective of everything. And a lot of different things that have come up, and you've not really been responding to any of it. So I would say from that point would be a good start.
Oh,
Just in general, what's on your mind and what's bothering you, as you helped me to be able to at least open up a little bit for talking, and since then you've been deflecting everything that's been on yours, and I don't feel that that's right in any sense of the wording.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean,
Stitch will like
I don't really think we have
Stitch
all
will
the time to get
gesture.
back
We've got
to-
time.
you have time for my whole life story, basically, is what you're telling me.
I've pretty much told you mine already.
That's my issue, is my whole life.
Stitch will unbuckle the blade from her belt. No, the blade from her belt. Let me fucking finish. Christ almighty. She will unbuckle the fucking blade from her holster and set it against the wall to not have you feel so fucking threatened. Jesus. Mine's in the gutter, all of you. She will set aside her shield, and she'll kind of more come over and, like, just kind of sit and just, like, well...
Really, I'm fine. This isn't necessary.
Stitch is gonna hold up her hand as it starts to glow. Do I need to use magic? I would rather not, as I want to have it be
I would
natural.
rather not as well.
That's why I'm asking.
I don't know how to take care of myself. If that makes sense.
I believe I can understand to an extent of that, but go on.
Like my whole life I've been having to take care of others. And it's kind of like that instinct just has never stopped. So yeah.
never really had time to worry about yourself till now.
Yeah, and it's weird and I hate it.
Stitch will kind of just look down a little bit. No, I do understand that portion. But let's go through the motions of what bugs it with you, considering it's not healthy to just keep that bottled up. So you say you've always taken care of others. What right now of it is bothering you? Is it just overcomplicated from what you're used to? Is it just something you don't want to approach?
No, you mentioned the 16 years thing 2 seconds ago, and it got me thinking, next week my mum died 16 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never knew.
No, it's... She doesn't even know. She, died giving birth to my siblings. And so I had to play mum when I was 7. So,
Hmm.
had to grow up quick, taking care of others. So, never really had a second for myself since then. So,
You always struck me as the type as the opposite of that, given what you had said prior, but I guess we're
What does
more
that
similar.
mean?
You always struck me more as you had that part of yourself understood, given what you had helped me understand with myself with the prior conversation, but I guess
I
in
was
that
just
regard
repeating what the monks told me.
I guess we're a lot more similar in that regard than I thought. There are their differences. Well, I will say I'm sorry for your loss, as that's not an easy thing.
No, it's okay. I'm totally over it.
Wish there was a higher level for this, but let's see if I can do it anyways.
Okay. She's most likely not over it.
Okay. I mean, I can understand that. I can understand losing a parent from young age. What age were you when you lost your mother, if you don't mind me asking?
I
7, you
was,
said?
no, more like 6.5-ish.
Hmm. Let me see, because... would that be similar for her or not?
11, I think, no? Because you're 27?
Yeah,
11.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah. I was a bit older at that point. But still, it's never an easy thing to have to accept.
And I don't even know how to feel about her, because she lied about me to who my father was the whole time.
Hmm.
And when my stepfather found out I wasn't his child, God. I went from being his favorite person to you would have thought I was a demon or something.
Hmm.
So
Alright. So I can at least understand that being on your mind. What of the events recently? What have your thoughts been on that, truly?
Uh, I think I was deflecting because I knew where it was kind of like for the Rhine Maiden. I was kind of in similar shoes, not the whole like being physically tortured, but mentally, I guess.
Mhm.
So um, that really kind of struck a nerve. So, oh, hello, Tick. Why is she here?
It was your turn with her in the sash today.
She's with Korlak.
She isn't here, yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, no,
Korlak.
no, yeah, she is not here. So
Tick.
What if she was?
No, to find the log.
Korlak?
His mother's in danger and just teleports.
Just appears out of nowhere.
Becomes a high dragon. Becomes a high dragon for a minute. Goes over there.
Father, mother, I'm sorry, but I crave violence, and I have come for you with a bloodbath. Never do that again.
I sense she's dead.
And since father has been killed, mother.
All the orcs are dead.
Anyway, yeah, go on.
I'm so sorry, that scared the shit out of me.
No, it's all good. Well, I can't possibly fathom the full relations and how you truly feel on the circumstances that creature had with you before, and I don't blame you for the way you do feel, as I think that is only fair. Same with how they feel. However, if it's any condolence, you are not the only one that had some similarities of feeling things of relations that were being tied in with that creature when we were talking with them. Sish will realize, like, she's been holding her one hand, like, she's, like, lowered it a bit, but the magic's still been, like, flickering in her hand, and she'll just kind of dismiss it. It's like... And your thoughts on how Flint is doing, given what we've seen?
It's honestly, it's scaring me.
I can't really fault you for that. It is a lot for anyone to have to take in. But it wasn't all bad.
It's just worrying that he's going into these dazes where he's not talking to anybody, or I don't know, I don't know, he's not the same sometimes.
From what I can gather and what I've talked with him, he's still him. He's just dealing... There's a lot, and I think given, from what it sounds like, you two have experienced, in more ways than one, a lot of loss. And for some ways, it's a teacher for some, and it can strengthen one's resilience for life, but that's not every single person, and I believe it is weighing a lot on him. Given the conversation we had last night, I firmly believe that to be the truth.
Oh.
He's worried of when you all had gone fishing with that turtle in Chaos Brewing.
Oh yeah, Gary.
Said he was feeling an ill omen from something around that time. something that still is lingering, despite having been cured of the one curse that was binding you both. Fearing of when they are, if they are met with an untimely death, they might not be savable and might cause harm to others.
Why didn't he tell me that? It's the first time hearing of it.
I'm not sure. I believe he might, even in his state, he might know that you are also going through a lot. I don't want to say that that is me sowing seeds of doubt for you, and that is not the intent of this.
Yeah, I
As
know.
honestly, I do believe... I believe he has his reason, as I'm not even sure he fully knows. There's something I wish to try to see if I can assist in that. Given she'll kind of hold up her gauntlets. I might be able to help, though I'm not 100% sure. But he had asked me if things should go the worse, and that omen he's feeling to be true. Especially now with that belt he now wears. That I keep everyone safe and put him to rest. I believe that it's just a lot to take in, and for everyone, given
Yeah.
the constant stress, the constant very few moments of gleaming hope in these times of erratic chaos and needs of this and that having to be dealt with, and seemingly no moments of any type of respite of rebuild. But why he didn't tell you, I can't truly say I know 100%. I didn't have the spell I did prepared for our talk, and if you're at all curious, it wasn't anything malicious. It was just... I don't even know if it worked. You might... It might have tried it, and it just kind of... And she just kind of, like, gestures of, like, the just failed. But it's like, all it would have done is just made us compelled to say the true things we are feeling, versus that, though you're not forced to, just... You can't inadvertently speak a lie.
Okay.
Though, it's a weird spell. I've used it once or twice, though. I know that it can't technically make you say something you don't believe to be false, as if you believe what you currently know to be true, like, if I had used it a few years ago and, like, do I believe my father's alive or dead, I'd probably responded that he might be either, and I'm okay with that. But now I wouldn't have said that it's because I know that he is alive. I would say he's alive.
Well, yeah, I just don't appreciate being threatened with magic.
I wasn't trying to threaten
well,
you. I'm sorry for
Kind
that.
of the impression that I got. I'm not going to lie.
For someone that I have to, everyone in this group really, that's under my protection and vigil, even if it's not intentional, if it's by proxy or accident, one who ignores their own health is technically harming themselves in my presence, and I don't appreciate that. Not to say that any ill will or anything of that such in that intention, just if I can help with it, I'd like to. Which is, she'll gesture, why I felt the need to
Lock me in a
have this
room?
talk. She'll look to the door. I mean, you could have easily kicked that down.
Yeah, or I could have jumped out the window.
Hmm.
That was honestly, I was thinking of doing that, honestly.
You'll see outside the dog, watching.
Uncle would let me through.
You see him smirk.
Right.
You see him just smile, like as like after like a second of delay, probably the
I was
words are
right.
going through his
Okay.
head.
I gave him very good pets yesterday.
That you do, though
I do.
he also cares about you in the sense of someone who is assisting in our current endeavors.
He's told you that.
More or less,
Okay. I mean, I don't.
in his own cryptic
Yeah.
way.
So I just see his like jaw moving.
He's not said it aloud, it's mostly been through our connection, but
Well, still,
hmm,
I know like everyone else can talk to him but me. So I probably should get on learning Sylvan, huh? Oh,
I
Elvish.
mean, if
I'm getting
you
married to an elf soon.
if you're planning to go forward with that, probably.
Yeah, probably. And I'm sorry for getting you dragged in with this whole shadow dragon thing. That is 100% totally and completely my fault that that's even happening to the Minotaurs, which is also why I've been a lower rank.
I mean,
I didn't think it would turn out like this.
you didn't fully know, so I don't really think
I
that's to
just
be
got like, I thought a
blameworthy.
couple of them would have gotten eaten, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, the important part is that you're willing to help correct the mistake, and that you learn from it.
Yeah, learn not to fuck with dragons anymore? I'm sick of dragons. No
And if you-
offense, I'm sick of fucking dragons.
Politics they typically get into is never exactly
No,
usual,
I have the worst luck with dragons.
Uh,
I think I'm kind of like screwed when Tick grows up. Like,
I mean, in fairness, that's a rather long time from now.
yeah, I guess.
If everything we've learned is to be understood, at least.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about Tick. She seems a little chaotic to have that much power.
I mean, the influence that you're doing and the things you're teaching her, they'll leave a mark. Just don't stop.
Oh God, you sound like a mom.
Rather ironic.
I'm so
given
sorry.
the circumstances. No, that's part of the territory for listening to others and trying to care for them.
That's true.
I think of anyone here in this group, we both understand that the best.
Mm.
I know we had said it before, but going forward,
Mhm.
if this builds up again or you're having these feelings, perhaps we can make use of that spell I mentioned, as it can be rather, I imagine, even just this has already probably helped a good bit.
I think I would feel better talking about it naturally without magic being involved. I'm not going to lie to you.
That's completely fair. I've heard there are those who do it for
kinda-
therapy.
Yeah, magic kind of freaks me out. I'm not going to lie. Everyone else in my family can do it, but me. So it kind of.
I mean, all I would say is of all the spells, this is one of the more mundane.
No, I
some
know.
sort
I
of-
just. I don't know. It's very cool. Don't get me wrong, but
Mm,
I'd rather not spells get used on me.
I mean,
Minus obviously the healing, because I definitely need that a lot.
mm. Well, I hope that at least helped a little bit take off some of the problems you were feeling, given I was worried for you that you were growing distant.
It's so funny, the last time I felt like that, I met Seraph, so...
Well, it sounds like you then have at least the right amount of luck for finding those who care for you.
I mean, I can be kind of lucky. With certain things. Clearly not dragons, but other things.
Stitch will go to the door, kinda... Right. Well... Sorry for the, being handsy.
Yeah. It's okay. I don't know. Never mind.
She'll kind of put the door back, or put the chair back, and just kind of lean up. She'll just kind of lean against the wall, just. Unless there's anything else you'd like to talk about, or in fairness, ask me in return, then I think that we are
Anything
good.
on your mind?
My brother, the fact that he's gone and supposedly been missing for 3 to 6 months, depending.
Oh god, yeah. That could be a little...
Given his capabilities and if he doesn't want to be found, he can absolutely not be found.
We'll find him.
I'd hope. His capabilities are quite similar to my mother's in sense of being a spellcaster.
Maybe we can find him within these 2 months. He could be of use.
Perhaps, though he's a lot less combative, much more connections. Connections and a little bit supportive. I mean, he's not... He's different from how Kilo was in that regard, though.
Oh, thank god.
Still very similar at the same time.
Oh god. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm gonna take back what I said about your brother helping us.
I
He's
mean,
like,
if he knew, he absolutely could. He's got some good contacts and some allies that could pull some strings. I'm sure he's got connections with other continents, given his mercantile business. I mean, he was kind of the one that helped me realize there might be some information on my father in places I wasn't expecting. There's that. You already know the lovely circumstance with my mother.
oh yeah, no, that's fact still.
Hmm.
Like I said, I've been in that position too. So
I imagine probably is like halfway, like after the acknowledging Umbra is like at the window, he's probably wandered off, and like Stitch looking to the window. There's also the fact of concerning of why he's around, as Stitch will kind of nod to where Umbra was.
yeah. Huh.
That and that, the second, what I got for the second prophecy I got from the fortune teller I got. Fact of him wanting to lead me down a darker path.
Well, let's hope not.
I've never really gotten that vibe from him, though he's a creature of the Fae, and as I've learned recently, he's only really said what he feels is relevant. That are things that clearly provoke his own interest and curiosity of research.
I would trust Madame Fortune though. I would stay a little weary, because she was right about the hags.
That she was. I'm just not exactly sure what aspect he would take to do such a thing.
I don't know.
And now there's the whole connection of me too, said dragons, and my own guesses of why my mother never told me of my grandfather.
They shrug.
Yeah, Stitch, like, she looks at you like, yeah, that's, yeah.
Mm.
So that is fair.
Well, you're gonna find your brother. I'm gonna find my dad. We got this. I mean, the guy knows I exist. So,
Huh?
apparently.
Hopefully, I can be there to help you support you through it.
I have to show you my mom's old album. Apparently, I look a lot like him. It's very odd.
I'll say this before probably ending the session tonight. If you wanted to make an insight check, you could.
Yeah,
'cause
just
Stitch at this
that.
point, she looks a little distracted after the mentioning of being related.
Of being
It's-
related.
Being related to the Shadow Dragon, or being connected to one. You'd see her kind of like look at her hand a little bit.
Where's my insight? There we are. We've talked before. I totally get advantage, right? No, I'm kidding.
It'd be normal. If I casted Zone of Truth, you probably would have advantage.
Oh no! Shit. Right, you.
Yeah.
Damn it! Oh, 13.
I'd say the DC wasn't too high given, because, you know, in this moment you're kind of we're both letting down the guard a little bit. I'd say, because you don't get everything, you can get the feeling that the fact that she's never realized with her training, because, like, you've seen her detect, you know, for, like, with her eyes occasionally, like, very faintly, like, flash for, like, when she's said there's no undead fae or fiend the few times she's done it around you. You get the sense she's thinking on the strangity of, despite how much she's probably had that ability, how many times she's done it, never once did it ever ping herself. And now the developments of everything that's happening with the Paladins, and the fact of, like, when she was confronted of, hey, what's this about, and the fact of, like, you can probably tell a little bit that she's on that mindset of, after mentioning of, like, how deep does that go? Because she clearly wasn't aware of that. And somehow, despite having a literal innate talent to notice that presence, she never once sensed it in herself. And just kind of that little glimpse of lost in thought of all of the different moving pieces of her family that you kind of understand at this point. And just wondering what it means.
You know, Stitch, I might not understand all this dragon nonsense, but even if you just want to talk, I'll listen at some point, even if it's not now.
I really don't think there's much I've not said outside of just...
Well, still, you never know.
Thanks.
Unless you want a princess's insight.
I've not had it happen to me, but I have heard of tales of others, like myself, Dragonborn, that were very famously mistaken for the circumstance of the old fable tale of a dragon had kidnapped a princess in a tower, when in reality it was the dragon being the knight to go take care of the dragon, which was themselves, and also being mistaken for the princess at the same time. From
God.
hearing it from rumor.
Fucking damn it.
Is it a reference I'm not getting?
It is.
It's a joke to being like, if you're a female Dragonborn, technically speaking, you fit all three portions of the story just through misunderstandings.
Oh,
Because you're the dragon that needs to be slain. If you're a fighter or like a paladin, you're the knight to go sent out to go take care of it. and you,
Yeah.
depending on your story, can be mistaken for as the princess that needs to be saved from said dragon.
Okay, I was just like, wait, I only got like 3/4 of it.
No, that's the joke. Like Stitch was saying, basically, it's not happened to me, but I have heard of others who have had that happen, and it's like, I don't exactly think I've not said much on problems that I already haven't. I mean, at least nothing that I currently know. I mean, having something dormant of a power inside you and not just knowing it's there, I don't know really how to feel about that, especially if I'm being honest. The fact that we're going to be, in the next few days, heading to an actual dragon that has that capability, or at least, well, not exactly the one-to-one, being as I believe my grandfather was a bronze as well, given the lineage, but
Hey, you never know.
similarly being influenced, and what that'll mean for me. And I'm going to be truthfully honest, I'm also dreading it for the fact of that fish I had eaten around that same time that Flint did.
Oh, yeah.
Given the little I understood of what properties it had, I know not when, where, or who, but she'll just kind of like parentheses with her hands. At some point, a dragon will seek me out. For whatever reason.
Hey, a dragon gave you a phone call on Tick the other day. She's sought you out.
I more so mean...
No, I
what
know.
I would love to think that magic works that simply, but as we both know,
Wish it did.
I wish it would, but given what the fish's capability was, I imagine it's much more of a importance kind of thing of they seek you to be a champion, they wish to have you as a bride, and or that kind of thing, or just outright take you or kill you. My worry is the fact of she'll look to like Oz, like, because she's been like staring at her hand for a few seconds. She looked up but looked back down. For like the first time since you've incited her, she'd look back over to you with like a little bit of like, I don't know what the fuck this means, but looks to you like, I hope it doesn't screw us, because it's I'm more worried of the fact that it might be involved with one of the things that we're going to be running into soon. Given my understanding of it means that could imply it being said shadow dragon.
Yeah.
It could be the dragon of chaos that bitch had mentioned from the drow. It could be any of the high dragons.
Baylor.
And technically could now be any kobold.
Yeah. Or your dad.
Potentially.
I don't know if he's like you, but...
He is a dragonborn.
Well, I meant, what, is he maternal or paternal grandfather? That had all the weird bonds, shadow dragon shit.
He is my actual father, and was...
No, I meant the grandfather, that...
Oh,
maternal or
he's-
paternal?
My brain is like frying at maternal and that.
I'm-
Like, so just
Maternal
like brief
your mother, paternal your father's.
mother side.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I
I
was
mean-
gonna say the easiest way to remember this when people call their parents
Mom,
ma,
Pop.
ma.
Yeah. That's definitely on my mother's side. Though
Never mind then.
he's honestly the only one I'm not worried of for that
Yeah.
circumstance, since he's been long gone. I'd always thought that the reason we didn't have much information on him was because he was on the other side.
Oh.
So, long time. That's how I always reasoned why we just didn't have any information on it, because, as far as I understand it, the little my mother ever did say about him was he had her in the later cycle of his life, closer to adult to ancient. And he stayed on the other side, as far as I understand it. But given how my mother's aged since then, I believe he is long since passed. Which also begs questions of why my mother never showed any sign of, if my theory is right, of he was influenced by a shadow dragon and possibly cleansed of such an affliction, why it didn't pass down genetically to her, and yet I seemingly seem to have a trace of it.
Mm.
There's a lot of this I don't understand, partially just because I just don't understand dragons either. She just, like, shrugs to you like, I'm not much better at it than you are. I never really paid that much attention to that specific thing, and I realized I really fucking should have.
You know what? We'll just find your mum and ask.
Well, that or find my father, seeing as his notes seemingly point in that direction.
What about you?
That's kind of why I wanted to find him, and I went on my own start, as...
Did Madame Fortune say where he was?
My father?
Yeah, like what town he was in? Like mine is with the turtles. Apparently.
He's in the city of the Arakakra and the Owlin.
Alright. I was gonna pull out her map, mark that little note down on her map, close it back up.
Yeah. Which is strange to me, because I've traveled through there a few times. And yet never ran into him. Nor any
Maybe.
mention of it.
You traveled around and that's where he's at the current moment?
She had specifically said that that's where I'll find him. And that
I mean-
he lives, so...
Well, yeah.
I'm not exactly
Fine.
sure, as that does barter in the range of cryptic fae logic, but... I'm not sure. Well,
I don't want to get back to the others. They'll probably be wondering why I was dragged away. Literally.
you can just tell them I had a question that needed to be answered and only that you had that.
Okay. Just next time you want to talk to me, don't drag me. And
I didn't really know, in fairness, you had been deflecting a lot, and I didn't exactly know of outright saying, hey, I want to talk to you about your problems, would really invite you to
said,
come
"Hey,
over.
can we talk?" I would have come with you.
Fair enough.
Just saying. I'm no
Yep.
damsel in distress. I don't need to be carried everywhere.
Fair enough.
Alright, let's go. Let's a fucking drink out there. Come on.
I think I might be thinking
I
of
don't
a
want
few
Nadia
things.
wants to drink it on me. I need that.
Go ahead, I'll catch up in a few minutes.
You sure?
Yeah.
Alright.
And Stitch will reach over and close the door. And just kind of ruminate.
They've been in there for a while. Drink's about to go flat. Should I just drink it, not...
Rex, I swear to God, you touch my drink, you die.
I reach over and just touch the mug. Whoops. He gives a smile.
Can I intimidate Rex?
Sure.
Lex probably doesn't care, to be honest.
I know he probably doesn't, but I just want to see. I have a +0 to charisma, mind you.
Go for it.
She's not scary. I mean, unless we do the little, like, shotgun rifle thing, but her gauntlet?
Thing is, Wex probably, if you're trying to intimidate him, he'll probably try to intimidate you back.
No.
like a try me.
So now because of walking back, and now we just be inciting you.
19.
Oh, you almost got on that one.
I mean, yeah, if you're wanting to incite the two of us for talking, you're more than free to.
We're just going inside. So I'll do it separately.
I was
God.
really trying not to
I'm
have
pretty
heard the
roll low. I
conversation
just thought it
earlier.
was so funny. Please roll low.
I'm with Rex.
19. You match.
They just stare at each other down.
Daggers.
Just
One's going.
Never like each other.
One's just taking two of his empty mugs and bonking both of you on the head. Stop it.
Alright, that 25 will be the one for Stitch.
The 25. In fairness, you saw Oz first, because Stitch came out of like about a minute later.
Okay, the one apart. I don't think that's gonna make a big difference.
Like, what are you trying to get?
Navi's trying to insight on like the feeling of that conversation as we come back out.
Like from the aftermath, at least you can see like a lot of weight has been lifted off of Oz's shoulders after this conversation.
Roll this to see how well she's holding her demeanor. Okay, you do see past it. Talking about things that needed to be taken off,
Yeah.
that needed to be discussed, and at least from Stitch's perspective, what you can understand from her glimpsing past the shield, in her mind probably needed to be tackled now before it built up more.
I think Nav's gonna pull a card out of your deck and just pat you on the shoulder and just say you did good.
Like, so, Navi,
I
who do you
don't
think?
know.
Me or you can be dragged into a room separately with Stitch next? Probably you. All right. Want to make a bet on it?
Sure, let's bet. I bet 1 platinum.
I don't have that kind of money on me. I'm broke.
Neither do I.
All right. And outward.
Let's bet with an IOU!
First platinum piece. We'll give each other.
Firstborn child kind of thing.
Oh god, it's another kid.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's probably, I think, a good point to end.
Yeah.
I was waiting to say that for the longest time.
How long do you think it's gonna? Who do you think's gonna be thrown into a room next to Stitch?
Oh god. Guys, it was so scary. She almost used magic on me. And Umbra was at the window. I couldn't get out. She locked me in there.
Huh. It didn't heal like it was too bad.
And I got looked. She took off her belt for a second. I got really scared of what was going to happen.
Fred's eyes widened the fuck up. Excuse me.
I was taking off my sword. Sheesh.
Intimidation tactic. Nice.
Listen, I'm sorry, but when my partner comes out of the room telling me, yeah, the other person who dragged me in there just started stripping. I'm just like, what the fuck?
She said she was feeling intimidated. I took off my weapons. Sheesh.
Why would
Excuse
you
me
do
for
that,
being
though?
being delicate
She
with
walked me to the
circumstance.
door, had Umbra outside the window, holding a magic to my face.
It was Zone of Truth, and he came there of his own volition. I think he was wanting food.
He always wants food. He's
He
just as
wanted-
bad as fuck.
He wanted it more for running.
That's his job. No offense, honey.
I mean, you should know better than anyone. Zone of Truth isn't exactly that threatening of a spell.
But when I don't know what you're going to use and it's kind of like in my face,
She was pointing towards Flint.
I'm just saying. It's very intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Ironic, considering I'm not that great at it, as it seems.
Well, anyways. I don't fucking know at this point. I really tried hard not to listen in on your conversation. It is hard not to pick up random frequencies with these ears.
I mean, in fairness, a few walls away.
Yeah, we were
And
kind of.
probably talking to them, you probably weren't hearing us.
He was more or less like looking into his drink while they babbled.
He was like, my girlfriend just got dragged away. What the hell's going on?
Do I get up? Do I go over there? Do I confront them? What the fuck do I do?
She just needed a pad, dude. I was gonna find excuse if they rolled low. Stitch needed a pad.
My
The
goodness.
past going like, oh, she's gonna cast this spell. I'm like, you've known Stitch for longer than I have. She wouldn't do an attacking spell at you.
Well, I know, but I don't know. Magic's not my thing.
It's one of like 2 spells I think I probably ever see it do.
Magic is not my thing. I don't study magic. Never studied magic. It's intimidating.
Understand?
I agree.
Oh, if we haven't finished yet, Covert, one thing I would like to do before the end of the night.
Okay.
Stitch, I think probably.
You'll drag me away again?
We're not done. Go round 2, bitch. Come here. No. Stitch, I think, would walk over to Flint. If
Your
you'd
turn.
like me to try something for what you had mentioned prior, I could try.
Sure, if you're wanting to, go ahead.
I'd like to try using the bracers to use Greater Restoration to see if that can help alleviate the whole affliction he has from eating that very strange fish that has kind of inflicted him with the Eldritch Knight, Death Knight thing if he dies proper.
Well, that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We found a loophole!
I was gonna be like, did you not remember what we've been talking about like half this time?
Half the session?
No, yeah, no, I know you've been talking about
I'm
it.
so sad.
I just don't know if that's gonna, like, actually remove it or not.
I mean,
That's
I would say given like it really depends because would you consider that secondary aspect a curse? Because in fairness, it kind of is.
Well, how many charges are you using?
Well, if
You
you look
only
at the
need
ability, I have to use
125
use 25 to cast the Greater Restoration.
It hasn't been a day. You used
It
it.
has.
Oh, has it?
Yeah,
Yes.
we purchased it in the night and it went over. So it has been a day technically for us.
I thought we were here in the morning and then we took a rest. That's what I thought happened.
No, we ran throughout the night and got here like still
Early in the
all night.
morning. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
when
what
the
I
sun
mean.
was
It
still
hasn't
down.
been a full
It-
day
it-
yet.
It hadn't gone past the point of morning portion when I used it prior. That's why it recharged.
So just realized it's
Oh,
dawn. I
okay.
gotta do something
So,
real
like,
quick.
Okay, so it wasn't
Yeah.
dawn yet.
It
Okay.
hadn't dawned yet because it's
Sorry.
yeah.
That didn't dawn on me.
But
Okay, real quick, gotta do this because let me see what's recording up.
Uh-huh. The fuck?
What does that do?
I got 10 pieces of gold. Nice.
Oh right, your random generation of gold.
yeah, your sword.
Yeah, I got 1 platinum
Hey,
now.
there's a platinum for Wex.
Hey, look, here's your best platinum.
Wex.
Look, we don't know who's getting dragged into the room next.
I'm just saying. You're prepped.
What's me and Web first?
I was ready for round 2. Are you,
There you go.
are you gonna pick up your shirt this time? Like,
Oh my gosh.
All I'm gonna say is you had opportunities to insight, and I gave you pause.
I did. She was very intimidated.
That's for the void fish, right?
Yeah, the void fish.
I believe so because it was.
I don't
like
think it turns you into a death knight. I think it just turns you into an undead knight. But I think
It said the description was that it would turn you into an eldritch death knight.
an eldritch
'cause that-
undead knight. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I mean, presumably, given there's not really a undead knight that is more knowable than that. And we had done a check at the time too, and that's why we jumped to the it means death knight because we had asked
Right.
what does that mean. We did a check, and you said so that would basically translate to you're gonna partially be a death knight, but you're not gonna be 1-to-1. It's gonna be its own thing, which is where we got that information at that time.
Right. Because like death knights are like CR 17, I think.
Yeah, they're big boy, and we don't know what an eldritch one would fucking mean of how much worse that would be. So, because the normal Death Knight's assuming you're a paladin that has been punished via some high entity to be forsaken to live for a long time. Considering this thing has the power to do something similar without you having to be a paladin and just do it to you, we don't really know what scale of power that's going to be doing. It could be he's a fucking skeleton warrior, or he could be, the new fucking BBEG of another campaign, for all we know. I don't know. It's a little vague when it just says, you become Thing. Well, what's Thing? I'm not telling. and there's really no reference, so figure it out
Yeah.
yourself.
There is a reference.
Exactly. It's like, figure it out, buddy. It's like,
I'm just wondering why he decided to eat this fish.
because he was at the time thinking outweighing the positive of it could give you immunity to necrotic.
I was literally outweighing. Do I want necrotic immunity, even though I could die and turn into a Death Knight?
Yeah. And that's also why I'm interested in trying this, because technically speaking, if that one aspect of the fish, because it was a weird fish to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
the lesser restoration doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to fully lose it. It just might mean he loses a part of it. Maybe it downgrades into resistance to necrotic, but he still has it.
There's a BBVEG Death Knight in here. That's kind of funny.
I mean, hey, if
I
we
mean, I
can't get rid of it, it's just cool. I could die and become a BBEG.
Oh god. But he's the true BBEG, not Baylor.
No, let's be real. It's still that monkey.
It's still that damn monkey that I. Oh no, it's the monkey that's so pissed off.
Uh-huh. You knew exactly who I meant.
Okay.
Oh, of course I did. He's gonna be running. Curious.
Yeah, yeah. Just because of how powerful this thing is.
Come on.
Sure, if Gray Restoration's gonna be enough.
I mean,
You
there's
would
really no
probably-
way to be. There's really no way of better curing magic than this outside of fucking Wish, which
Yeah.
is a little stupid because I don't really think a thing that grants you an immunity to kill you is really wish worthy. In fairness, because in fairness, the item I literally have on my person is a rare item, which could be just like if you use like PF2s, like
A very
spell
rare.
level equivalent to what it's worth. Like dispel magic could break it. Granted, that's a different thing, an entirely different comparison. But it's like because this is the weird area with how spells interact. Because it is the sad thing of like technically, curses are grand and all, but and then you realize outside of waving your hand and just going no, screw you, your thing doesn't work because technically any grand curse can just be broken by remove curse because of how that's worded, and it's kind of similar to this. That's why I figured I would ask, because it's like, I mean, there really is no better restorative magic than this. Because, in fairness, Wish borrows from this spell.
If I'm being honest, it could also just be not really more of a curse, more just a cause and effect.
Could be, but still, it is a little. It's like a little strange. There'd be no way to get rid of it.
Mm.
But ultimately, that
Alright,
is whatever Herbert says.
Okay. That will also get rid of the something in the void fish. So
That would what now?
It would remove the other, so could get rid of it, but it would get rid of the
Immunity.
immunity to necrotic.
Yeah, no, I think we should not bother then.
I mean, in
Right.
fairness, that's a ticking time bomb, and you can just, for what we're going into, we can just make potions of resistance.
The other thing with
I don't
this,
think anything really does negative energy attacks, as far as I'm aware.
Say that one more time, Covert?
I don't think anything does negative energy attacks in 5e. That's more like Pathfinder.
It's necrotic. That's more what it's doing.
Yeah.
yeah, which is why we like had to work in with that on being necrotic. Even still, with the chance of it not, if anything, we can literally just do it after the big stuff, if we're really certain.
Hmm.
Because more or less, we kind of do need it for the upcoming fights.
Mm-hmm. Can we do it after?
I mean, if we want to hand wave that, maybe like feeling it out that it might work, but it would have that cost of you lose that. So I mean,
Yeah, I think probably.
Yeah,
feel
getting
that.
rid of the curse does get rid of the fits. Like, that is just kind of how it works.
I kind of figured, to be honest.
You lose one
So why
thing, you
don't we
lose the
just
other. That's just kind of how it works.
take it off after the fight.
Ye.
Well, then I'll give myself
Because
back the
we're
charges.
praying that he doesn't die in the fight.
Well, at least feeling it out. I think it can remove it.
Okay. Well, we'll save it for whenever we're really certain, or if I am literally steps away from death.
Hmm. Very well.
Ah.
And I think at that point, that's probably a good stopping point, I guess.
We're gonna pick the rest of them up and carry them into the room.
No, you just gotta grab Navi. Gotta do it in the right order. It goes Navi, Wex, then Flint.
Alright, well, we'll stop there for the day.